I remember floating up out of my body, and since it was my first time, I wasn't really sure. It seemed like I still had my conscience that we have sitting in this room. So when I turned over, I saw my face. And I actually said, oh shit, I died. They were studying me because the human mind usually goes insane after 7 to 10 days of extreme pain, or the body dies from shock. And they were gambling, like, how long is this guy gonna make it? They removed my organs because they were turning gangrene, and they kept me alive like that for 75 days. No food, no organs.
How long were you dead?
I think it was
Hi, Todd
Hi.
Hensel, the Miracle Man. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you.
Todd, I saw you at church, so we met through church,
Yes,
and I
ma'am.
got to hear your story. Pastor Betty invited you on to do a Q&A, and I had probably 100 Qs left after you left the church. I was like, oh, I need to talk to him more. And then when we started this pod, you were on my very short list of people I wanted to have right off the bat. And then I read your book that your wife, Carrie, wrote. Did you guys write it together? Or did you all?
It was a joint effort.
It was a joint effort.
It's such a good book. I read it in just so quickly. I've read it several times, actually. It's just so interesting, and it takes you on the journey in a really beautiful way. So
I read it at a very long urgent care appointment. That's how that's how fast I read it. So thank you and welcome. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Tell us, you, the Miracle Man, real quick. How did you get coined the Miracle Man through this process?
My surgeon, Dr. Vienna, he has a good set of skills for doing multiviscerals, more than one organ, and he was looking for the right person to do the 7-organ transplant on. And he knew when he walked in and met me, he said he had the feeling that I was the one that could survive and do it.
Had he never done that before?
No.
So we should say Todd is a 7-organ transplant recipient. And can you real quick tell us all 7 of the organs that you received?
Yep. Stomach, small intestine, liver, kidney, pancreas, spleen, large intestine.
Wow. It's unbelievable when you say it like that.
Yeah. Take us back to, I guess, the what happened.
Well, when I was 48, my doctor then said, being a plumber, I'd gained a lot of muscle bulk, and said, as you go into your 50s, it's easier on the heart if we, shed some of that. So I started doing spin classes. And at first I was horrible at it. And then I started getting better and better. And but I was working 10-hour days, so I started doing a little shot of energy drinks. And I would drink like a third of a can, and I'd set it down. And then I'd go do my spin classes. But they believe that was the catalyst that caused my clots.
Wow.
With all the sweating and quite a few professional teams, the hockey and football, have banned them, and it's in their contracts.
Wow.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
So we're not putting age here, but how many years ago was this?
It'll be 17 this November.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, November 15th.
Amazing. So you're getting back into shape per your doctor's orders. You're taking these energy drinks, and then one day you find yourself feeling really, really bad.
Super sharp pain. I woke up and I was only taking short breaths. I couldn't inhale fully, and I felt something was really wrong. So I stood up and I said, well, if I just touch the ceiling or reach for the ceiling, I can get this cramp to go away. And when I did that, I passed out.
Oh, wow. What, from the pain, or you just...
Yeah, the pain took
Wow.
me out.
Oh, my gosh.
I didn't realize how fragile my body was
Sure.
at that point. And it was like, boom. And my youngest son was home. Jared, he heard me, the thud. He came in and he's like, Dad, what happened?
Wow.
I woke up and I said, I don't know. I'm just in a lot of pain.
Yeah. And then did you call the ambulance at that point?
Actually, I drove myself up to a pharmacy first, because they had like a little clinic there. When they saw me, they were horrified, and they said, you need to get to the emergency room.
I can't believe you drove yourself.
Yeah. So then I drove myself to the emergency room, and it was like an outpatient clinic. And I made it in through the first set of doors and passed out again.
Oh my gosh.
Then the next time I woke up, I was in the back of an ambulance. And then my oldest son, I remember like sitting up, and they're like, oh, just sit back. But I saw my oldest son was following in the
Behind
ambulance.
you.
Yeah, he was in his red F-150 following me. So I'm like,
Wow.
hey.
So you get to the hospital, and they know it's still at this point, they don't know what's wrong with you, right?
Correct, yeah. They went like 3 days and did not know what was wrong with me. But for the most part, I was unconscious. The pain was so great, and my stomach just bloated because my organs were all dying.
Oh gosh.
And after 3 days, they opened me up, and they were like, "Oh, his organs they were black. They're all dead."
They must have been horrified when they opened you up to see that. I mean,
Yes.
you don't get to see that very often.
Are you aware in this moment of what's happening? Are you in and out of kind of a consciousness? I mean, because your body's not operating.
Well, they had me heavily sedated because my body kept bucking from the pain.
Oh gosh.
And but when they would take me off that to a point, I was aware of what was going on.
They were able to tell you what was
Yes.
happening, and gosh, what were your thoughts when you first got that? When you
Yes,
first came round?
I actually thought I'm not ready to die yet.
Wow. So you had
just
that fight right from the
Yeah,
beginning.
I'm like, I'm not ready, because they
Yeah.
were telling me, it looks like we're going to put you in hospice because we can't do anything.
Oh,
And
wow.
no one had did a 7-organ transplant,
Yeah.
and it was after that they did put me in hospice. It was like, oh,
in the hospital.
yes.
Wow.
And I thought, well, I'm not done.
Yeah.
I'm not done. I'm not ready to go.
No.
And so, I guess the will to live was very strong in me at that point.
That's amazing that you felt like that right from right from that moment of finding out. There was no surrendering to it at all. It was always, I'm going to fight for this.
Correct, yeah.
So you're sat in hospice. How do you go from that to the next part of your journey? How did you get them to convince them to keep pushing?
Well, this Dr. Vienna came up from Indianapolis and was looking at starting a program in Detroit to do multiviscerals, to do some teaching.
I mean,
Kind of a miracle.
it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's walking down the hall at Henry Ford, and here's my son on the ground agonizingly weeping because they told him that
Yeah.
I had days left.
Oh gosh.
And he had already lost his mother.
Oh.
And he walked past my door, stopped, and he said, I have to go in. He went back and looked at my chart, and he said, he told my son, he said, I can save him, but we have to get him to Indianapolis because he's in hospice here. If you leave him here, your dad will certainly die.
Wow. And how old was your son at this point?
He would be 21.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's a lot on his shoulders to
A lot, yeah.
figure out.
Yeah, it was. And he jumped up, went down to the nurse's station, and was begging them, help me find a way to get my dad.
Yeah.
down to Indianapolis. And because I was in hospice, there's no life flights. So I ended up, they found a bush pilot.
Great.
Well, they just found, was he?
Well, they put a call out. They put a call out on the, airline network.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Like with the, what are they?
Are there any volunteers who will take this man to Indiana?
Yeah, that's what they did. They put a cast out, and I'm trying to think of the name of those people. Who are the people that direct all the planes?
Oh,
air traffic control.
Yeah, they did it. Air traffic control.
Wow.
So your son got
He managed to
manage to figure out to get to air traffic control to get you.
Him and the nurses,
Yeah.
Pretty resourceful young man.
And they one guy said, "Well, I'm flying from Newfoundland out west, so I can swing in and pick them up.
That's
I'll
amazing.
do it." Wow. And he just charged me $1,000. It was like,
that's
I'll
amazing.
swing in and do it. So he picked me up.
Which is, you say that very casually, like you strolled onto the plane, but I know that's not what happened.
No, yeah, they rolled me out on a gurney, and they said for liability reasons we have to unhook you from everything.
What, from the pain meds as well?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And as soon as they did that, my body just started walking again, so they had me strapped down.
Oh, from the pain. They didn't give you anything for the pain?
No, not at that point.
How long of a flight was that?
It was, I think it was about 2 hours.
Wow. It's crazy.
And, I just remember that poor pilot. First, I thought it was really cool because he had all his, camping gear, and that excites me. And hunting gear. I'm like looking around.
Also a sign.
Yeah. And he was a fellow hunter, you know. So I was like, oh, this guy's cool. He put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "Please don't die in my plane,"
Yeah.
as he threw some choice words at the doctors and nurses for unplugging me.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He was not happy, nor was I.
Did you have anyone riding with you on the plane? Was it just you and him?
Just me and him.
Wow. Oh, I got
What's his name?
I don't know. I don't know, because I kept
You just
passing
went with
out.
it. Yeah, of course.
I'd pass out and wake up at that point. I'd only have like 2-3 minutes of consciousness, and then the pain would just overwhelm me again.
It's amazing that
the body can actually go through such intense.
It can. And it was good. Like, I got so used to passing out, I would see it coming because the darkness would start clicking in from the outside of my eyes.
Yeah.
And I would know that, okay, I'm going out.
Here we go.
So you get to Indiana.
I get to Indiana.
The doc's waiting for you.
The doctors are waiting for me, and they hooked me up to dozens of machines, and equipment. They probably had 6 different machines in a room, but I had like 40 lines in me, 4 PICC lines, a bunch of IVs, and they kept me alive. They removed my organs because they were turning gangrene. And they kept me alive like that for 75 days.
75 days. Wow.
Yeah. No food, no organs.
And just to back up a little bit, we talked about this, but there's only certain states in the United States that will do multi-organ transplants. So do the majority of them only do one at a time? Or is Indiana part of a small segment of states that do more than one?
There's probably only 3 states now that do multiviscerals.
Wow.
And they do them at the same time. It's all one operation.
What 3 states is it that will do them? Do you know?
I think, we know Indiana. Is it Cleveland Clinic? And then Miami-Jackson.
Wow.
Yeah. Those 3 do multiviscerals. Like, I got all my organs at one time.
So you get there, they've taken you all out, and now you have to get them all back at the same time. What are the odds of that happening? Like, is that all? I mean, one thing that fascinated me about your story when I heard it in church was it was just like a constant. It just felt like there was always, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back as you kind of were,
Right.
healing and getting better or whatever, surviving. So what are the odds that you would find someone that had 7 organs that you would?
Well, they're very, very low. And then the team of doctors that they had, actually only one doctor kept fighting for me, Dr. Vienna. He said, I know I can do this. This is the one. And because of him, they said, well, let's move on with this surgery then.
Wow. So he really did play a massive part in saving your life, apart
He
from
did, 'cause some of
doing
the-
it, but
yeah, it's
pushing
just
for it.
some of the other doctors just voted saying, no, it's too risky and he won't make it, you know.
But I mean, what's your other option though? Do you know what I mean? I can't. Why wouldn't? It's crazy to me that they wouldn't all just
do it.
Just why not? What have you got to lose? You know.
Actually, our hospitals operate like that a lot.
Yeah.
Where they just decide we're done.
Yeah.
What happened in those 75 days that you were without your organs? I mean, they go in there, they see that they have to take them out. I mean, are you just in an induced coma that entire time?
For the most part, but they would wake me up, talk to me, let me know, how I'm doing, check in with me. It's kind of funny when someone tells you how you're doing and you're just coming in from a sleep. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Where am I? Then you realize, oh, I'm here dying. So that's how they would do that. They just wake me up every like once or twice a week, come in and draw blood and just see where how my body was doing. Towards the end of my 75 days, they woke me up and I was turning septic, or was septic.
Oh.
And I, when they told me that, they also said, because you're septic, you're probably going to be off the list.
Oh.
And then, so they said, would you like to pick a day for us to turn everything off? And I thought, yeah, let's do it. I believe I told them Friday. And I didn't want to do it on a weekend,
Do you want to bother them on the weekend?
Yeah.
So?
That's what I
Oh my
thought.
gosh.
Well, everybody wants to have fun on the weekends.
Wow. How long did it take you to come to that? Obviously that's a huge moment of processing of you've fought for 75 days. Now you're having this conversation, you're picking the day that you have to leave. I mean, that must have been.
Yeah. It was, it was heavy.
Yeah.
It was heavy and it was very real. And I thought, well, I'm still not ready to go, but here I am. And they asked me if I wanted to go back in the coma, and I said, no, just leave me awake for a while, because I wanted to think about it.
Of course.
And that's when I felt the divine. Actually, I surrendered myself. At that point, you're going to die. I just got childlike faith and said, Father, I'm yours. Do your will to me as you please. I just really gave into him. And it was like once I got that childlike faith and surrendered my soul to him, he was in the room. He was with me all the time. I just never saw him. And he communicated to me that, in my worst days of pain, focus on his son on the cross, and he will guide me through. And I thought, wow, okay. And he also said, we have free will, so keep fighting if you want. If you want to, if you want to go, you can go, but you're here. And I said, well, I want to be around for my children, so I wanted to fight.
Yeah.
And the nurses and doctors came in later for their afternoon rounds, and immediately they called the nurses and thought somebody had given me something. And I'm listening to them argue with the nurses, and they're like, well, look at his vital signs are all changed.
Wow.
So they pulled some more labs, and my septic was gone. It just disappeared. They could actually tell when they walked in. I think they felt the presence
Of the
of the
Holy Spirit.
divine, yep, being there,
Sure.
the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Because they were all like, something happened in this
Changed.
room.
They felt
Wow.
the shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a shift. The death shift was not there anymore,
Yeah.
you know.
What day was that they tested you and said that you weren't sepsis anymore?
Boy, that was, that
were
was
get-
probably like a Monday or Tuesday. Well, wait.
Before the Friday, right?
Yeah, it was before the Friday. So it was on November 14th, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, November, whatever day that was in 2008.
So they're telling you pick a date, you pick that date, and then on Monday, it's the sepsis is gone.
Yeah, it was right. Yeah, before it happened, right before and then that evening, Dr. Vienna walks in, holds my hand, touches my cheek, says, "Todd, we've got a match."
Wow.
I'm just like,
God.
and he's
Goosebumps.
looking at me with, tears in his eyes, and he
Yeah.
goes, "You're my partner. You can do this. You
Yeah.
are a strong person, and I know I can do it with you, but I have to ask you one thing." And I'm like, "All right." And he goes, "Don't quit. Don't quit on me. Tell me you're going to fight the whole way. So much is riding on this."
Yeah.
And I said, "All right, Doc, I'll promise you I will not stop fighting." And those words, to me, they came back to me, and it was like, it was hard to keep. It was hard to keep that promise. It was very challenging for me.
Yeah.
Many days I thought, when I was at the peak of this pain, that, I knew I could have just breathed out and left, but I made a promise. So I kept fighting.
Yeah.
I wanted him to be successful, not just for me, but for other potential
people.
transplant
Yeah.
patients.
Yeah, because you paved the way.
Right.
But in practically the same 24 hours, you find out that you're not sepsis, and you find out you have a donor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a miracle.
Yeah. And that, yeah.
So then at that point, they're doing surgery. I'm assuming pretty soon. Like there's
That evening they started.
Wow.
Yeah, he told me to get ready.
Gosh.
Yeah, he goes,
And,
"Get you."
and was it one person that donated all or was it more?
It was more than one, but he was the lead surgeon. So he did most of the tie-ins, the tiny veins on all those organs.
Must be so intricate. It must be unbelievable.
Yeah, and trying to get the intestines folded just right so they didn't pinch themselves off.
Right.
I remember saying to him, "Doc, my stomach's a little sticking out like a basketball," and he said, "Todd."
chill out.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, come on.
he goes, "I tried wrapping them organs like a dozen times to get them to fit just
Fold
right." He
right,
goes,
yeah.
"But I am not God."
Yeah.
But, we got them all working.
And then they wheel him into the room.
And, yep, they had me knocked out. But it was like when they wheeled him in, I felt his presence, it seemed like. Like I knew. And I just woke up.
Wow.
Woke up and saw him just like for a second. And
Yeah.
then they like, "Oh, he's awake." And they pump more Propanol in.
Yeah.
Did you have any kind of spiritual interaction with him whenever he was in the room with you?
I felt his presence and his kindness, and his like love for people.
Oh.
But other than that, I didn't have any interaction with him.
How long was the surgery? Do you know how long you were?
Yeah, it was 2 days.
Oh my gosh.
It took them 2 days.
Crazy.
Yeah, they worked for like a whole day, and they had my liver left to do, and they were exhausted.
Oh, I bet. I mean,
And so they took like a 5-hour break, got me hooked up to machines, and came back and finished it.
The liver was last, huh? Interesting. So then, can you tell us a little bit? When was the first, I would call it NDE or near-death experience? Was that post this surgery that you had that?
No, I had one in Detroit.
Okay.
When they were opened me up, I actually crashed or died there.
This was before you went to Indiana, so you had your first near-death experience there.
Correct.
So let's maybe back up to that one because I don't want to miss those.
Yeah.
Those were...
So, they were working on me, and I remember floating up out of my body. And since it was my first time, I wasn't really sure. It seemed like I still had my conscience that we have sitting in this room. And I'm like, oh, these lights are kind of neat. And I'm kind of familiarizing myself with my new environment. And I was just looking up, and then I'm like, oh, I'm still going through the lights. And so then I turned over, and I see this doctor over a patient. And I thought, gosh, I know that. And I thought it was one of my children at first. That's what my thought was. And it was the anesthesiologist. He was praying for me quietly so no one would hear. And when he lifted his head up, I saw my face. And I actually said, oh, shit, I died. And,
Wow.
and I was hovering there watching like the whole room. And I was looking at a table, and it was all full of bloody instruments. And there was 2 nurses over there counting them. And the doctors were debating the time of death. Like, what time did he actually expire, and talking other protocols that they could have did or tried on me. And I was just observing all that. And then I felt the divine's like energy, light, love hit me. And I was like, oh gosh, I feel really good now. I just wanted to stay in that comfort.
Yeah.
And because it made me feel like I was 27, like I was in the peak shape of my life.
Yeah.
And then so I was enjoying that. And that's when he told me that, even in death, we have free will. And I'm like, amazing, and I was like, I don't want to go back,
Yeah.
or I do want to go back because I have children,
Yeah.
and he's like, well, you can. And that's when he said, in your great days of pain, think of my son on the cross. And he said, you're going to have many of those. And I'm like, okay. And he said, say the Lord's Prayer. And as I was saying that, I started hovering over my body. I was like, seemed like I was about 3 feet. And the next time I blinked, I was in my body and looking up.
Wow.
And the anesthesiologist, pronounces, he's back. And the doctors are scrambling, and the nurses drop what they're doing. And then he says, don't look down. So I
Look down.
looked down. Unfortunately. And I'm like, whoa, what a mess. And so I sat up. And how I sat up,
No clue because you have
cut
to
in
use your
half.
abs to
Yeah.
in your...
But I had that spiritual energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I sat up, and I remember the doc saying, okay, all right, I got you. And he had his hand on my back, and he goes, we got to lay you back down. And he goes, come on back, I got you. And he lays me down, and then he grabs his Propanol and pumps it in me. He goes, just relax and go out. And I'm like, okay, doc, I'm there.
Oh my gosh.
Was this, I think you said in your book, was this the doctor you went to church with or someone who had
Yes.
known you from church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He knew me from church,
Did the other doctors and nurses in the room ever find out he was praying over you in that moment?
I don't think so, because that's kind of not allowed.
I know, yeah.
So he was doing that.
So he was praying over you while you were having this out-of-body experience.
Mm-hmm.
How long were you dead?
I think 11 minutes
11 minutes?
at that time, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
And then
Probably didn't seem like 11 minutes.
it didn't, it seemed really quick.
Yeah.
It seemed quicker, but...
So that was the first near-death experience that you had during this process, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to add that I talked to that doctor after, And actually, I went over there and did a garbage disposal for him. And
Yeah, casual.
Yeah.
yeah, fair trade, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And he told me that I felt you changed my life. He goes, I was kind of a fence riding Christian. And I'm like, okay. He goes, but I felt your soul. I was touching you when you came back in your body.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, that was a gift that I will always look at people differently now.
Yeah.
Because I felt a lot of love and a lot of goodness. And he goes, it's something I don't think few people feel.
Yeah.
It's like the soul of someone.
Yeah.
And he goes, man, he goes, I don't take anything lightly now. You know, I'm
Wow.
like, oh, good. So I think that was a miracle because it,
Of course, look at all the lives you're touching.
it touched him in such a way. You
Get
know?
through this podcast without crying.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Because it has... Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah. So that really helped him, you know.
Sorry.
It's all
Can I
right.
take a break?
Sorry.
Hey.
I just think it's so lovely. It's just reminding me of my mum and stuff. Because I was in a hospice with her. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
And I had all those feelings she had. I had it with her, like the angels coming in the room and everything. It's so... But it wasn't sad. It was really
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I wasn't sad. I slept in the same room as her the last 3 days. I'm sorry. And it was an honour, like, to be in there and feel all those things that you're feeling. And it's like you're confirming all of that for me. Sorry.
It's all right. Let it out. It's all good.
It's just such...
Well, it's real. We're taught at a young age about our spirits, but for some reason, we don't talk a lot about it, or the religious establishments seem like they don't want to empower the people with it.
Well, it's very hard to put into words. I was saying to my brothers and sisters when I slept with my mum those last 3 days, I said at 10 o'clock they would shut the hospice down. It would just be me and my mum in that room, and I would feel the room felt crowded. I would just be in there and it would just be love. That's the only thing I could, and I wasn't sad. I felt happy for her, and I felt happy for me, and I remember the next day I said, do you guys want to stay in here? Because I felt almost selfish that I was having this experience, and having all of those angels in the room. It was so overwhelming, and just having you say that, it just is sort of taking me back there, and also confirming that I wasn't just being in the moment. It really was. That was really happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Really
he felt it too.
experienced that.
He felt it, and he was like, it totally changed him. He's like, man, he goes, I pay attention. I go to church. I have quality time with my children, my wife. He goes, I take nothing for granted now.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm off the fence.
I think if you were going into it, if everyone knew what you know, what I know, it removes so much fear from this, from death,
From
right?
dying,
Right?
Yeah.
Which has so much control
Yeah.
attached to it in our very meat suit human world that we live in, right? And so it is such a gift whenever you get released from that fear to understand that spirit it's much bigger than all of us and much better than all of us too,
Yeah, the hard part is here on this plane.
Yeah.
As far as physical pain and mental, I mean, it's here. This is a struggle.
This is.
Dying can happen really quick, and it's pretty easy, actually.
You
Not to brag.
You got real good at it.
Yeah.
Not bragging, but it's easy, guys.
Well, once your body's fatigued and stressed, it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all know people that said, well, they just said they were done and took a breath and laid back and left their body,
Yeah, the hard part's fighting to stay here, like you did. Yeah.
Fighting for days and finally realizing, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I think it's more prepping yourself to leave this plane and move on with your journey,
Yeah.
This is our our testing ground,
Yeah. Our life lessons.
Right.
our life lessons. Yeah.
Our class, our teachers, our little school we go to every day,
Yeah.
right?
That's what they say. If you speak to a lot of like spiritual people, they'll say Earth is like the hardest place that the hardest school to come to, because there's all of the lessons and it's hard and it's heavy and it's like constant testing. And so people that sort of, depending on what you believe, but it's like they say the people that come and have a human experience, every single one of us here, we're like, people think we're like warriors. They're like, what have they done Earth? This is that's gnarly.
That Earth is a bitch.
Oh, I'm not doing that one. I'm skipping that one. I'm staying on Jupiter.
Well, it is all that, and then this spiritual world was like the opposite.
Yeah.
It was all love and warmth and comfort, and I did want to stay there.
Yeah.
I know.
I did. It was like, oh man, it would be great just to stay 27.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I don't know if we talked about this when we were, I think we did, but I did a plant medicine journey and was in spirit for 7.5 hours. Well, back and forth from my spirit self to my human self, body self for 7.5 hours. And after it was all done and I went through the God lesson, I looked at my guide and I said, what are we doing here? Like, I don't want to come back. She said, oh no, you got to come back. This is a round trip ticket. You're not, you can't come. And so I had to have that kind of strong integration lesson from her, because it removed so much fear, so much anxiety. I know there's a place we're all going to one day that's going to be pretty special. So, but back to where I want to keep going, because we want to get to where we are today.
Correct.
Obviously. So the organs you're back together again.
Back together, yeah. And
doctors are giving high fives.
Yep. And within 30 days, because they did the surgery, they have to move me to another hospital for insurance reasons.
For insurance reasons?
Yeah.
Awesome. Of course they do.
The doctors are like, they couldn't find a hospital. Like, wow, we don't know what to do with them. We don't have that caliber of doctors here. But so they moved me to a different hospital, and then the doctors from Indiana University would have to travel over and see me that second month over there and do their work over at a different hospital.
It's insanity.
It is. It's just like, how do we set up a system that doesn't work, really?
Yeah.
I remember when they loaded me in the ambulance, and it was like the middle of December. It was so cold. Just being out in that cold air, and when my body flexed, the pain it put me in.
Yeah.
I just kept passing out. And then when I finally got back into the new hospital and got warm again, I was just like, I just can't believe I had to go through that.
That's why I hate cold.
Yeah, same here. So I was in that other hospital, and I stayed there for another 30 days. And then I had to move again. So then they moved me.
Are you healing? Are you progressing, or is there like peace a little bit with this process?
Yeah, I'm healing, but it's a very, like they told me, your recovery's 5 years.
Wow.
So it's a long road.
Do you remember all of this, or did somebody tell you? Like you,
No, I
you remember all this? Okay.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you remember all of this in such detail.
I just can't work out why they called you the Miracle Man. It's weird. It's unbelievable. It's such a powerful story.
Well, that's when he got the clots out. They couldn't stitch me back together.
Because they had to have that access to...
Yeah, and he said it just won't work, so they had me heal from the inside out. That's why my scar is so thick and stuff in areas. It doesn't match.
Yeah.
It's not really sexy anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sure it is.
You didn't get that lesson over there? The don't worry about sexy lesson?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So you're healing. Do we want to... I want to get into a little bit too of like what's happening at home. You have a family during all this.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Indiana, so they would come down every 2 weeks for a weekend and spend the weekend with me because they're in school, they're trying to carry on, you know.
Yeah.
So it was hard on them.
Yeah, of
Very hard on
course.
them.
Of course.
And you were married with 2 children? 3 children?
Three.
3 children.
3. Like my daughter had a hard time with it, seeing me. She could come in the room, but she couldn't stay long because she would just break down.
Yeah.
And they didn't want people doing that in front of me.
Yeah. You needed to be strong. You did. Yeah. That makes sense.
But I could sense it. I could feel it. And then my 2 boys were great. They would like, my youngest, he knew like, he'd come in the room and be like, clean the trach out. He was just shouting commands to the nurses. He needs this and this done, you know. And he was always right. It was like, yeah, my trach needs to be cleaned out. This wound needs to be doctored up. And give me a bump of pain medicine, you know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's like your little mini-me, huh?
Yeah. He was really in touch with me. And they would ask me questions, and I would say them with my lips, and he could understand. He knew exactly what I meant.
Translate.
So,
He was translating it for me.
That's amazing. So intuitive with what was going on.
He was very intuitive.
During that time, so you obviously had that first out-of-body experience. Can you tell us a little bit more about any other experiences that you had, like spiritual experiences, while you were going through all of that?
Well, yeah. So right before they transferred me, I was out. It was like a week after I had all my organs. I just kept having this angel visit me. She was the angel in white, telling me it's okay, you know, it's okay, you can just give up. It just, you know, take your last breath and go. It's fine, everything. We've worked it out. And I'm like, I don't remember that, but you seem really, you know,
Could you
divine.
see something, or was it just a feeling? Or
Oh no, I was seeing her.
could
It was
see
it was
her.
a lady. She was very beautiful,
yeah,
very convincing, very seductive. You know, and I was like, and one of my neighbors had the same like dream that spirit was going to talk to me and undo this miracle that was happening. So he started driving down from Michigan, and after hearing it so much, I decided, well, yeah, let's just go there. And I took my last breath and coded out again. And this time I'm in the room, and I see and I can feel the divine's presence, and it's outside the hospital room. It's out the window. So I'm going over to the window, and I see my children's pictures on the wall. So I'm reminded, okay, yeah, I have kids. And I look back, and this nurse is pumping on my heart, and she's like, don't give up, you know, begging me to come back. Don't give up. You've worked so hard. You've been through so much. And I was kind of watching her, and then the divine stepped in and he said, if you go through the window, you're not coming back. So I knew then. I said, well, yeah, I want to come back. I just, you know, can I just play this game for a little bit?
yeah. Stay here just for a little bit. It's nice here. Yeah.
And so I started saying the Lord's Prayer again, and it was like a little slower. I kind of crept over to my body, and I blinked, and I was back in it. And I remember looking up at the nurse, and she was so upset. And then when I opened my eyes and looked at her, she like screamed at me, don't give up, don't give up. She's screaming at me not to give up. Keep fighting, keep fighting.
Can you imagine though being the nurse? Like no one wants to lose you. Like everyone's
invested.
You're like the baby that everyone's kind of been invested in, and she's like, not on my watch.
Oh yeah. You're about to tell everyone.
Yeah. She's like, oh shit.
Oh dang it.
Yeah. So she was working really hard to keep me going. And, you know, I remember her dropping a few F-bombs, like, where's everybody at? I hit the button, you know, and finally everybody runs in the room, and she did it by herself. You know, I was back, and, you know, I had a good pulse, and And I think they juiced me up on a couple things, but, and they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. And that's when she goes, you got to have something. What is it? And what it was I was having a hard time breathing. Every time I would breathe, it would just ache.
Oh.
And she kept asking me, what is it? What is it? I know we're missing something. And when she finally said, is it your air? And I winked at her, and she's like, do you want to be put on a respirator? And I was like, yeah. I winked again. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, so just a note here. You're not communicating verbally with this nurse. You're communicating through eye blinks and just...
Correct.
Your energy.
My energy. I can't. I got a trach in me.
Yeah. And so she was able to figure out what you needed to...
Yeah, because I wasn't sleeping hardly at all. Oh. The madness that we have now of these electronic devices, TVs, so much music is, I don't think it's really serving people well.
No. Mm-hmm. But it's distraction. Mm-hmm. And also there's no space for anybody to have any thought, really. Even now, people take their phone to the bathroom, or, go outside, or you're waiting for somebody, all those things that we had growing up. There's none of that, because every time you've got that moment, people are scrolling or texting or emailing. There needs to be a complete disconnect.
I do now rely on that feeling. I it's there. I feel it a lot. It comes into all of my decision making. They call it your gut feeling. It should be like your spiritual feeling. Once you learn how to get it, because it's there for everybody, but it's just slowing down enough.
Yeah.
It's hard to, if you see a child that is connected with the divine, you know it. You see how happy they are.
Yeah.
You see it in their prayers and their little songs. And for an adult to get childlike faith is really, that's a miracle, because we have our heads filled with, we're always constantly entertaining ourselves.
Yeah.
So those, once we learn to slow down, and it's just we get up, have a cup of coffee, and race out the door. And we don't give ourselves time. We don't give our spirit time. And a lot of times no one ever feeds their spirit. We're just feeding the flesh.
Yeah.
And we don't put ourselves in like a trance-like state, or meditate, or prayer, and give anything else a chance. We're always going to make it happen on our own. When actually, if you take the helping hand that's there for us, these decisions become more like, oh yeah, that's it. That's what I needed to do.
Yeah.
Like when, we got the house 7 years ago. How did I know that was the right one? Well, time always tells us. My daughter ended up coming to Nashville, going to school. I was here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Carrie's daughter
You
came
say,
to Nashville.
I was going to say, you say we, but we have to, and also bring Carrie into the story too.
Yes.
And so your first, I'm not backtracking, but I want to make sure Carrie gets in, because Carrie helped write the book with you.
Yes.
And so for you and your first wife, that did not work out?
No, they knew in the hospital. The psychologists were tracking me. There's 3 of them, and they said right away that, be prepared, she will leave you through this.
Well, they knew that she was going to do it before she
knew it,
even
probably.
knew.
Yeah.
Huh.
They could tell. The indicators were all there.
Huh.
They were studying me because the human mind usually goes insane after like 7 to 10 days of extreme pain, or the body dies from shock.
Wow.
And they were gambling, like, how long is this guy going to make it?
Yeah. Wow.
In this condition.
So the psychologists were there to like hedge the bets of the doctors, basically? Like, was that what they were?
Yeah, it was a big study because no one had gone through it. And I kept living, and they were like, well, what's he doing different?
Yeah.
And so I did donate myself for 10 years to them experimenting on me afterwards.
Oh, really?
Yeah. until Dr. Vanna said, "That's enough. You've done good.
Yeah,
Don't
you've
let
done
them
it."
talk you into it anymore."
Yeah.
It was taking a lot out
I
of
can
me.
relate. I could probably talk to you for 10 hours, so
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But you,
Sorry.
oh, I was gonna say, so you go home and go back to be with your family, and that had changed. Everything had changed.
Yeah, I realized that there was a big change, didn't like, wasn't staying in my bedroom. I was down in the basement, and I was like, oh, I'm down here.
Right.
Still healing, by the way.
Still healing. Yeah, daily nurse visits.
Yeah.
Like twice a day, because I needed all those wounds to be cleaned,
Yeah.
put back together. And it wasn't, once I went to another hospital for another 30 days to learn how to walk again. My whole body had atrophied, so I couldn't really use my legs good. My spine was exposed so long, the nerves had dried up.
Oh,
Gosh.
So I just struggled to move them.
Yeah.
And they were actually planning on me being in a wheelchair. They thought, because I couldn't feel my legs.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, you get used to that idea. And I was like, I'm not going to get used to that.
No.
And so that was another fight.
but the ability for the body to heal is just amazing.
Yeah, we are
you
powerful.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And so you guys, there was a divorce.
Yeah, divorced.
And this home you had built, this family you had built, you're built back. You're like, oh, okay, I'm getting better, and then all of a sudden the bottom drops out again.
Yep.
And you're getting served papers.
Served papers, brutally. I opened the door one day, and the guy just shoves it into my chest. It's like, it's the last place I needed to be hit.
Oh, great. Awesome.
And then, 30 days later, I'm out of the house.
There's a chapter in the book. It's one buck, one bullet, I think.
Oh, well.
And so this is after the divorce, and you're living in your car.
Mm-hmm.
You're having nurses come and change your bandages in the parking lot of
Yep.
a store.
Old Kmart.
Kmart, yeah. And so you feel maybe that dark angel come back in again, and
Yeah, I just felt like, I had carried one bullet with me, and I just thought, well, this one was known to, take people out quickly. And I thought I was just getting to the point where I had lost my house, lost more than half of my income. And I just thought, Lord, why did you save me to suffer like this? Lost my children. And it's like, what am I doing here now? Sleeping in my car at night, living in a car. And I was like, it kind of put me in a spiraling downward time. And so, yeah, I was up north, and I kind of picked a day. I thought, well, this will be my day, and I went out on a hunt, and I thought, this is where I want to go. I'm very peaceful. Nature to me is more my church. I feel better outside than, but I do enjoy Pastor Betty a lot, so I'll give her a little kudos there. She's pulled me back in. So
she has a way of doing that.
Yeah. And I just went into prayer. I was sitting in my tree stand, and I was like, after I get done with this last prayer, unless I see a sign, and it was a long prayer, and I was meditating for like an hour, kind of building the courage up and everything. And when I opened my eyes, I was like, they were blurry, and I'm looking us, and there's this big old buck standing way out there, and I'm like, looking at me, and I'm like, oh, geez.
Yeah, there's your sign.
Yeah, there was my sign. I'm like, all right, I got to get over this, and, over my pity party myself, and carry on. So,
and that's funnily enough that the stag is, you probably know this, but it's a Native American Indian sign for protection. A buck will appear on your land.
Yeah,
I just recently learnt about that. So
I harvested that trophy buck, then packed that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then-
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bullet was for the buck. We
Yeah.
should say that, not you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Buck. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every time I harvest an animal, I give thanks and take care of it properly. I'm not a guy to do any wanton waste, and that's why I was so healthy. It was from eating off the land.
Yeah.
At 48, I had no heart disease at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was very grateful for my intuition on that.
We brought Carrie in now. Carrie's here. She just appeared. The little spirit fairy she is.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So some people recognize when you've had a near-death experience?
Yes.
Wow.
I've had people at a Sam's Club come up to me. Another time I was in a mall and some lady scurries over to me and she's like, I know you've crossed over. I can see it.
Never ever heard that
I feel
before.
that. Yeah. But I've also had people like creepers that knew that didn't like that I crossed over and weren't very friendly. Had them come up to me before.
What do they say?
Just a lot of kind of gibberish, just really loud and upset that I've crossed over, and they're like angry. They're just angry people.
I can't believe this. Have you
Yeah.
ever heard of?
No.
I've never ever heard of that before.
Oh, no.
What they'll come
Have
over
you
to you and
spoke-
say, sorry. I've got so many questions.
Australian twins.
You go
It
first.
always takes me by
Hang on a
surprise.
second.
We've one time just sitting in a restaurant, and this guy was just staring at me, just getting, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna have to go soon, and he's getting so mad.
Are these other intuitives?
Some.
Okay.
I mean, I think this is the one thing that connects all of us.
Yeah.
Is the divine, right? So it's where we all come from. It's where we're all going. And those of us who've, had experiences with the divine in a very tangible, palpable way on this plane, it's recognizable to a lot of people on a soul level.
Wow.
And it's going to bring out whatever's in there to be brought
Exactly.
out.
Right.
So that's
you're-
the thing. It's
yeah.
how you decide to greet it says more about you,
Yeah.
and what you're struggling with, your
Exactly.
challenges
Why
than
are
the
they
person.
cross about that? What's making them mad about it? What
Insecurity.
frightens them?
We should ask them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do think fear is a big
Yeah.
part.
It's a big part of a lot of things.
Fear and love. Yeah.
But you recognize it when they're yelling or screaming or trying to intimidate you, and it's just not going to go well. So I just leave.
Just leave.
And the new Todd leaves. I'm not
Yeah.
up to fighting.
Oh yeah. And
But
so do they? Have you asked them how they know that you've crossed over?
You can't get to that level of connection in a logical way, Kat. It's more like it's emotive. It's
blowing
it's
my
not
mind.
rational.
Yeah.
So you have to move into protection mode.
Right.
so, like I asked Pastor Betty before I spoke at the church, I said,
Yeah.
can you control everyone in your church? And she was like, what do you mean? I go, I've just had a lot of people get very angry and get really upset. And she goes, you won't find that in my church. But I know what you're telling me. I said, okay.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
be aware that it can happen.
She was right.
Yeah.
She was
Wow.
right. And then I was seeing things I hadn't seen before on this plane. Energies, balls of energy, and gray matter energy, to where my service dog would, be barking and barking, and I'd look over and be like, yeah, man, I see it. Nobody else does, but we feel it. What is it? And so it was starting to keep me up a lot at night. My dog would bark a lot, and I saw Carrie had made a post on Facebook about a medium, and I'm reading that article, and I'm like, well, I'm going to reach out.
Y'all are friends from high school.
Yeah, high school,
Yeah.
yeah. So I thought, I'll
You
reach out.
dated at high school, correct?
Briefly,
Brief.
yes.
So you dated at high school. Hadn't had any connection for how long?
40 years.
40 years. Then you see the post.
Yeah, my charisma or charm wasn't there yet,
Yeah.
so I finally developed that for 40 years. And
I've seen that picture in the book, though. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
You look pretty good in that picture.
so I reach out, get a hold of her, and just say, hey, I saw you made that post, and really brave of you to put that so publicly, but I got to ask you some questions because I think I need some help with it. And so she's like, okay. And she told me about her medium and how it works. And then we met up for a coffee, and she explained a lot more to me. And then I ended up talking to her medium some, and it all worked, you know. And so now I sleep peacefully. They don't wake me up. And
You found a way to protect yourself from
Yeah, it
the
was not
energies
really-
and not protection, but
How to control it.
Yeah,
control it. 'Cause
Yeah,
I didn't know
boundaries. That's what I was
boundaries,
looking
that's
for.
the word.
Yeah.
Set boundaries up. And I'm still like, I'm just a blue collar guy, so I don't really I don't talk to them or anything now, you know, and maybe I should, I don't know. I just kind of do my own thing.
Yeah.
When you say just a blue collar guy, you're a very talented guy. You're able to do lots of different trades. And you've been a plumber, you've been an electrician, right? You've been a builder.
Yep.
You're
Real
now
estate.
you're now real estate. You're now a cattleman,
Fireman.
fireman. Yes.
Cattleman, yeah.
Yeah.
Miracle Man.
Miracle man.
Put that one down.
Miracle man. Yeah. Miracle man. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done.
But I think it's
a lot.
important for you to make that. I don't like the word just because I think that's
It's limiting.
be limiting. But I see what you're saying there. You're saying to yourself, you're not a shaman. You're not a
Right.
guru.
Right. Yeah.
You're not a
There you go.
pastor.
Yeah.
You're not a medium, right?
Right.
But I think though, I know this from talking to you, not your book, but you've probably had a bit of a heightened gift since you were young. And what you've been through has just exacerbated the situation. Plus, I feel like when we get older and wiser and quieter, it also gives it time to kind of come out. Do you think that, now you've just transmuted it or maybe alchemized it into just being a really good at like making decisions or tuning into things? Is it shifted a little bit from maybe that wild place it was to more of a wisdom?
Yeah, more of a wisdom thing. I kind of embrace it when it happens, or just see it. You know, living here in Tennessee, there's a lot of Civil War people walking around at times, and
Oh wow! Do you see that? And you see them?
I don't really want to, but
No.
sometimes I there they are,
Yeah.
and they're
Wow.
just going apart, doing their little thing,
Yeah.
whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
That's the part I don't know. It's like, why are you still walking around?
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
Maybe haven't accepted that they've gone or haven't
Right.
crossed over yet. Yeah.
Maybe
Or
something
maybe
like
just
that.
visiting.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
popping in,
Maybe.
saying
Yeah.
hello. Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll have to blink or rub my eyes. I'm like, oh yeah, they're still there.
Yeah.
What am I seeing? And it's still there.
Wow.
But we're just in this. We're not accepting of it. A lot of people aren't
Yeah. You
comfortable with it.
you turn it off. You have as a child, and then people tell you
Yeah.
that's not right or it's not. Yeah.
So did Carrie help you when you guys refound each other and reconnected? Seemed like the timing was just right. Did she
Yes.
offer kind of that reprieve for you?
Yep, she started explaining it. I kind of had my guard up. It's like, okay, well, wait a minute. Why me? Why am I going through this now? Why
Yeah.
I didn't sign up for all this. Who are all these souls? Why are they coming at me? Why am I seeing them all the time? And once she explained it all, she did a very good job at that. And then she said, you need to talk to Sandra next. And when I talked to Sandra, she kind of set the hook, like, okay, you're floating out a lot at night too, and quit doing that. That's
Yeah.
very unhealthy. You're gone like every night. That's
Yep.
why you're attracting so many. You keep going, and it felt like I was going out of body a lot. And she's like, stop it immediately. She goes, no one's told you that, but I'm telling you, don't do it anymore, and it'll get a lot better.
Yeah.
And so I quit doing it. I made a conscious effort. I didn't really realize I was doing it. I just thought it was part of my dreams.
Right.
When you say you would go out of body, are you talking about astral traveling, like out at night?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess that would be a good word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you would just go wherever you wanted, wherever it took you, wherever you would say, yeah.
Were you having that experience? Was it similar to? I mean, it's different from having a out of body experience and dying. It's more of a feeling of just floating, or how would you explain it?
Yeah, it's kind of like just floating
Yeah.
out, and it's very peaceful, and
Yeah.
it seems like it's a dream, most like it is a dream, but then you realize the thing with it is when you wake up, you're not rested, and then
Correct. Yeah.
you don't feel grounded anymore. Like I was
Yeah.
feeling very aloof all the time, and it's actually, as Sandra explained it, very unhealthy to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to stay grounded and on this plane, and it starts getting confusing.
I've had similar experiences, astral traveling. So I was interested to see how you experience it as well. I've not wanted to, and I found it really hard to come back into my body. But I've learned again how to do that now, and I sleep with a lot of crystals.
Yeah.
To stop myself doing it. But
And I think for like most men, like we go from A to B, and women go from A, somersault, backflip, twirls, somersault, jump the creek, stop at the
trying
store.
a tutu. Yeah.
Go back 3, grab that coffee. Oh, now I'm at B.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it's like, wait a minute, how come it's, I was having a hard time. I just want to go to A to B.
Yeah.
That's what I always do. And it wasn't that easy, So, I finally got to the point where I've got it under control.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I do. And it doesn't bother me. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I guess my hardest thing is that when you want to talk about it, it's like I can only talk to her,
Yeah.
Oh.
because people are gonna want to institutionalize you, or what are
Right.
you
Well,
saying?
I know.
Now I can talk to you two.
I know what you're saying. Well, now you're talking to hopefully lots of people, but I think
Yeah.
really from just listening, because I used to see fairies when I was little, and I talk about it, and people are, my grandmother used to, and she did get institutionalized, not just because of that, but that didn't help the situation,
Right.
obviously. And then you want to sort of like share that, and I think for somebody like me, they're like, oh yeah, course cat can astral travels and sees fairies, but then because you have had that experience and you're such a, I don't know how to say it, I mean you're sort of like so masculine, and you've done all these like men jobs, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that now, but and then you're having these experiences, so I think it will resonate more with more people, or it'll make people think, oh, it's not just the crazy fairy lady.
That's the purpose of our whole podcast. Is that this lies a lot. This conversation lies a lot on a very fringe community, right? And the whole purpose of us wanting to have this podcast was to bring it more to a moderate space,
Right.
and
like bridge that gap as well, between spirituality and religion, and
crystals
and people like me that are like, oh, fairies. And then to have somebody like you, your energy is very much like my father's energy, which was very like, had a very male role, and he went to work and my mum was at home, but my dad always thinks all of this stuff is like a load of old rubbish. He thinks I'm like, oh yeah, you're a feather sniffer. That's what he says. That's my dad's interpretation. But and he's not gonna take it from somebody like me, but to see somebody like you that's had these experiences, and you're sitting there, and of course you're not trying to be a flouncy fairy person, you're just like, I didn't want these experiences, but this has happened to me and they're real, like why else? I'm not here to gain anything other than just to tell my story,
Right. And that's the truth. I often like, why did it happen to me? What did I do? I'm just a simple guy.
that's why it happened to you.
that's why yeah.
And I'm very masculine, but I'm not masculine like, it just is the way I was born. I bake cakes. I cook all the time. I clean, I don't have
he's
those
a keeper.
Yeah, I don't have that.
He's also extraordinarily sensitive.
Yes, I'm married to a very sensitive person too. I wish she baked though.
And cooked and cleaned.
So Carrie, tell me, he reaches out to you, and you're...
Yeah, it was July of 15, and funnily enough, I had left Michigan in '89 and didn't live here again till I had just moved back to Michigan in 2015 because my son got a scholarship to a school up in Michigan. And so my phone rings, it was July, and and so it was extraordinary because we hadn't talked in 40 years. I knew of his story because we have mutual friends who kept me in the loop, but I still wasn't clear on the details. So we arranged to meet for coffee the next week, and you know, I mean, he was my first love, so, and I thought I knew what I was going to do after my son graduated high school. My plan was actually to move back to Ireland, actually. And I'm sitting in that parking lot, and I saw him get out of the truck and walk towards me, and I felt my heart just leap. Aww. And it was like, okay, I made a deal with God that I would just help him deal with his gifts and come to terms with them and use them in a high way, but in a controlled way that was not taking from his well-being. And then in the meantime, we just fell in love. So it's been an extraordinary journey. And I just, the wonderful thing about just letting go of not staying so tied to your plans and expectations and just trusting that, that God has a plan. So, yeah, it's been a beautiful, beautiful journey.
You wrote the book. Well, it came out last year.
Well, it took 6 years to write. It came to being when we had first moved down to Tennessee in 18, and one morning I came out and he was having coffee, and he says, "I think we need to go on this trip," and our friend Kyle Bailey, who was a 4-organ transplant recipient, was planning a coast-to-coast trip to raise awareness about organ donation and raise signatures, Michigan to Florida, and he was going to ride his bike. His buddy was going to follow behind him in an RV, and the buddy suddenly couldn't come for some reason. So Todd said, if I drive that RV, it'll really help Kyle's cause. So we went back to Michigan, and we did the trek, and it took us about 2 months to do this. We met with all the organ procurement organizations along the way between Michigan and Florida, and I got to see, Todd would stand up and speak to people. And so we were speaking to members of the public, DMVs, hospitals, VAs, and I got to just, as I'm hearing him tell the story, and more questions coming in, everybody, I thought that this has got to be a book. It's so inspirational. So I started putting it together, and then what I did over the course of several years was I would just ask him questions, and then I would hit record and just let him talk, and then I would slowly sort of cull it all together. It was hard to write because it's, there's a few different stories going on at once, right? I mean, there's the medical aspect to it, there's the spiritual aspect to it, and it's a love story. So it took a lot of time.
You did an awesome job, and I'll take it one step further. I think it's a movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think it's definitely going to be. It's like I envisioned the whole thing. I saw the whole thing in my mind as I was reading it.
Oh, how beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you for saying
awesome.
that.
I'm going to have Julia Roberts play me when we do the
podcast.
Like at the very beginning where they're getting ready to go.
They're like, how did the movie start? And then Julia's like, oh, and then... That's how I see it planning out.
That's already how it's done there.
But the book is unbelievable. I mean, it's a book that is incredibly, really easy to read, which is, a testament to you and the way that you write it. But I was on holiday and I took it with a couple of girlfriends of mine, and I read it really quickly, and then we all ended up reading it, and everyone was like, well, it was just such a... thank you. I mean, it's so inspirational, and there's so many... there's so much you can get from it, and so many not only is it heartwarming, and it's it sort of reaffirms your faith of
suspenseful.
It's interesting. Yeah. It's obviously going to change people's lives from a spiritual point of view, but also from an organ donor point of view. Right. So it had so many things, and it's such an easy, digestible read as well. So thank you.
That means a lot.
It feels quite an important book.
One of my questions I had for Todd, this is a perfect segue into that, is, and now I think I can answer maybe part of the question for you. I'm gonna let you answer the question, but one of my big, big questions was, why do you think this happened to you? I now, after going through this podcast, now I know why. I think I know why this happened to you. But I would love to hear in your words why you think this happened to you.
Why? I think because I had the resolve to make it through, the mental resolve. I think the reason I made it, though, was the power of prayer and then hundreds of people that backed me up. And I think I gained those people by being a service to them through my life.
Yeah. We didn't even touch on that, the fact that we talked about you being a plumber and you would go in and help people and put, do things and end up just not charging them, and just because that was just in your nature to do that. I mean, again, that's unusual. That's not, you're saying, oh, well, but it's almost like you were laying those paving stones towards this journey and creating an army of people that wanted to energetically support you, because you've deposited all your good energy in all these places. So
Right. Yeah, it was the old, what would Jesus do? I just like helping people that really need it, I feel we are kind of should be in service of other people.
we should.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to pay tithes, but it means more
I
if you do
agree.
it yourself.
I agree.
My husband has this shirt that says Jesus was blue collar.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's cool.
And so maybe this whole journey was meant for you to be the simple, typical, not saying you're typical because you're not typical
Or
at
simple,
all, but
just
like you're the dude, you're just a guy
yeah.
who had something really like amazing and just like unthinkable happen to them. And you tell your story in such a digestible way that I think a lot of people, even though they haven't gone through what you have gone through, can relate or would feel comfortable maybe even sharing similar stories, similar synchronicities, similar miracles, similar hard times, similar, thoughts of suicide or breaking points. And so I think that's why you were chosen to do or go through what you went through. And I think that's why Carrie and you were together, because she saw that this was something that needed to be shared.
Okay.
So,
and that's going to be such a beacon of light for other people that don't necessarily go through exactly what you were going through, but it's, the surgeon, you didn't put your life, you put your life in the surgeon's hands, but the surgeon put his skill in your ability to fight. It was a partnership, and I think that not everybody always thinks of it like that,
Right.
yeah.
and that's really important. I think whenever you go through anything, you have people support you in whatever way, but it's, if you're going to do it, if you're going through something, you got to play your part as well.
That's right.
So when you're lying in that bed or you're going on a healing journey, it's like, you can't just rely on the doctors.
Right.
Well, I've got medicine and I've got this, and it's about you being like, right, this is a God thing, it's a spirit thing, and I've got to play my part in it, and I have to want to carry on.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, for me, out of reading that book and meeting you now, is that's the gift that you're going to give people. You're going to give them a strong place to hang on to, even me, from meeting you, I think if I had to go through something, it gives you a place to hang your hat. Well, if you've done it in that, maybe people aren't going to experience as much trauma as you did to your body, or maybe on a different level, but they're like, well, he did it, and he had to play his part. So I better buck up and play mine. Yeah. So I think that's going to be a message that you'll leave for people. That's just my interpretation.
Good. I like that.
I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I mean, my prayer was that, that it be inspirational and empowering.
Yes. Yeah.
On multiple levels, but that it has been done, it's been done. And the power of the mind, the will, he knew, he always knew, I think that's critically important.
Absolutely.
To overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles.
Yeah.
Everything's possible, you know it.
If you really believe in yourself.
Yes.
It's like the man that run the first mile in a minute the first time he did it, and then everyone came after him, and now
Right.
it's like not
Right.
even a
Right.
Yeah.
it seems
Yes.
that's a funny analogy, but it's, you know,
It's
that's you laid your footprints in the sand first, and now people can follow.
And also the fact that you had and that also, I think people too these days, everyone gets so in their safe space, in their comfortable space, right? And they don't want to rely on people, or they just have this like kind of, I'm going to make it, and then I'm going to do all these things. Well, it's a really lonely world whenever you do something all by yourself, right? And so the fact that you had so many people around you that helped you, and so I want to touch on that interconnectiveness before we wrap up, because the tagline of our podcast is building up the collective consciousness of our world one pod at a time. So the understanding that we're all connected, and we're connected to animals, we're connected to plants, we're connected to, and I do also, don't let me forget, I want to talk about what you're doing with your cattle farm as well. But there's I just want to read really quick in this book, because Carrie writes it and you say it better than I can explain it. The interconnectedness of all is a truth that continues to make itself known to me in a myriad of ways the longer I'm alive on the planet. I believe we aren't always given the gift of seeing explicitly how one thing or one person impacts another. But when we are, I receive it as validation from the divine that there are no accidents, and we really are, to quote my favorite teachers, Ram Dass, just all walking each other home. So on that note, I would love to hear like how you feel about where our world is right now as it relates to that interconnectedness, and how can we all go out today and just be more mindful that we are all one.
Well, I think we need to get active in our communities. Like, just this week we were in my men's group, we were talking about blessings, and some of the guys were like, well, blessings, I didn't have any because I didn't receive this amount of money, or I didn't win this, and then we turned the table a little bit and said, well, wait a minute. When I volunteer for hospice, I walk away. I mean, it is tough, but there's blessings to me because I see a soul that is tormented and fearful. And then when I talk to them and kind of cleanse them and bring them out, it's like, don't go out with a grudge. Stop cussing your wife. Don't blame everybody. Go out with some dignity. Go out happy.
Yeah.
Go out as a man or a woman that, you got control of this.
Yeah.
Quit being fearful.
Yeah.
And one or two visits after, they're thanking me. It's like, okay, now you're getting ready. Get rid of the anger, get rid of all the blame. We are all connected. We definitely all are. And I think, getting out and actually doing something for people. And I think it's more one-on-one. I'm not so big on the big group projects myself, but because I think one-on-one is where everybody connects. It's like kind of like a parade. You see it go by and everybody was there, then it's forgotten.
Yeah.
But when you're in front of somebody and you've got eye contact, hand contact,
Yeah.
they remember what you say.
Yeah.
They remember who you are and how we can touch each other and support each other.
I mean, you can change somebody's day with a smile.
Yes.
And then the ripples that leaves. So if you're changing somebody by, doing like being of service to them, or, you're doing the hospice, or even like you were doing, I don't know, the air conditioning, the plumbing, or whatever it was, you're not just changing that person's life. You're putting them in a different state to then they'll go off and be in a better mood to do something else, and it's the wider picture that you never see.
Right.
And that's the faith, isn't it? That's
Yes.
you're not just touching one person's life, and it's knowing that you are in that moment, but it carries on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are all accountable to each other. It's making each other accountable. Every man needs to be accountable.
Yeah.
Every woman needs to be accountable. Sure. And once we realize that we're accountable to each other and to take care of each other,
Yeah.
it seems a lot easier.
Yeah.
And to take care of our planet.
take care of take care of everything.
Yeah.
Tell us about your animals real quick.
Well, I am a rancher, and I take care of my animals every day. I check on them all day long. I talk to them. I have coffee with them. Sometimes a cocktail with them. And their peace and friendliness really helps ground me, and it gives me an energy, and it is a blessing just being there with them. I'm very grateful that I'm still here. My health is very well, very good. My labs test as a normal person.
Wow.
And I attribute that to farm life,
Yeah.
to slowing down, getting rid of all the chatter,
Yeah.
less phone time, less TV time, and spending it outdoors is like my cure to myself. I feel better when I do all that.
Yeah.
My soul's happier, and I'm a lot calmer. And when I'm still, I can hear the divine. I can feel him. When I'm doing all this busy, loud stuff, I get so far away from him, because at times I do long to feel that close presence that I had before.
Yeah.
And how I get that is I got to be still.
Yeah.
I got to give him time.
Yeah.
And myself time. We need prep time before the divine's going to talk to you.
Amen.
Because you need to cleanse our soul, our body, and be very open. And then it's like, oh, you were there all the time.
Yeah.
I thought you were so far away.
Yeah.
And really, he wasn't. We're so far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the cattle recovery is paying off.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It's just, it's a lifestyle. It's not an easy one. Not, it's by far, it's a lot of work, but it's something that I can do.
Yeah.
So
But you can do anything at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could.
But, this is the guy who was in the wheelchair, told he probably would not walk again.
Yeah.
It's just,
That's it.
everything is possible.
Yeah. Who's to say anything
Exactly.
on your life
Right.
apart from, because none of us are God.
That's right.
So whenever
Yeah.
you get, it's like my friend going back to him, and always being told you're going to die, you're definitely going to never have children, or you're never going to make 8, 9, 10.
Right.
Look at him now.
Yes.
Picking up his babies, and
Yes.
it's not for us or anyone else to decide.
No, right.
It's having that faith, isn't it? And then again,
It is. And it's hard to find people with faith, because there's so many naysayers. And the human character is to always say something negative first,
That's so true.
instead of giving people an opportunity to show you, or believe you, So that's why I think, working with one person at a time touches more people.
yeah.
It really does.
Is there anything else we want to?
I just want to say thank you, because it's been.
Oh my gosh, duh.
It's
gratitude.
I mean,
So much gratitude.
so much gratitude, because I really, really think, I feel like this has been really powerful. I mean, was for me, I'm sure for everyone, but I think it's really going to leave a message, and I hope this becomes much bigger, and I hope this story goes far and wide, and I would hope, and I'm honoured that maybe we're going to be a little tiny
already
little
are.
paving stone
You already are.
on that little journey to make that happen, because I think it's such a powerful story, and I think it'll help a lot of people, and that's at the end of the day what we all want to do. All
Exactly.
just hold hands and like you
Yeah.
say, get on that journey together.
Yeah.
But not yet.
The book's Miracle Man.
Yeah.
You can buy it on Amazon. Where else? A website?
Yep. Well, the website is mymiracleman.com, but it'll send you directly to Amazon.
mymiracleman.com.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Todd. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Carrie.
Thank you both so very much.
Thank
It
you.
was
Gratitude.
fabulous.
We'll have you back again.
Okay.
You will.